The leader of one of our neighbours basically stepping down. That's Manasseh Sogavare of the Solomon Islands. Let's get some reaction because there is big implications for the region. Greg Sheridan, his foreign editor at The Australian. Greg, appreciate it as always. Now, Sogavare, just to remind our viewers, is one of the most pro-China, if not the most pro-China leader in the Pacific. So the fact that he's gone as Prime Minister will be welcomed by the government.
Undoubtedly, Kieran, they'll be far too diplomatic to say it. Sogavare is a very strange guy. He lives very much inside his own head. He's very mercurial. He loves you one minute, he hates you the next. His dealings with China have been extremely worrying because they've focused on the security sector and they've been very clandestine. He's been the opposite of transparent. He's signed security deals with China. It's a very interesting electoral result. His party lost half its seats and he barely scraped home in his own seat. Now, you can't read too much ideology into Melanesian elections, but that suggests on the face of it, his embrace of China was not that popular. It's very unclear who's going to emerge to replace him, but I think this is a good move. This is a good outcome from Australia's point of view.
Indeed. Speaking of good outcomes, are we going to see one in the Middle East in relation to some sort of deal amid ongoing speculation that it might be close, a ceasefire in the Middle East?
Yes, it seems that we're just a hair's breadth away from a deal. The Israelis are lowering the number of hostages they are demanding that Hamas release, and this is a very sober reality, but the truth is a very large number of Israeli hostages may well be dead. And the Israelis, I think, would agree to a ceasefire if something like 30 or 33 hostages were released. There's enormous pressure from everyone in the international community on Hamas now to make a deal. But of course, up until now, Hamas hasn't wanted a deal. Hamas loves all this suffering and misery that it is inflicting on the Palestinian people because Israel's getting the blame for it. You see 7-year-old kids chanting, you know, Israel is a terrorist state on the front lawn of Sydney University. And that's exactly what Hamas wants. It doesn't mind the suffering and death of Palestinian people. But there is so much pressure on it now from all its international backers, except Iran, I guess, that it looks like there's a real chance of a ceasefire. That would mean Israel would not invade Rafah, at least for the next 40 days or something, and it may indeed lead to a longer-term ceasefire. So, you know, that's the best hope we've got to avoid another big round of bloodshed.